night in the boot, Steve Schneider along with the coach, Troy LaBeouf, and it's the first Friday night of the season, and man, do we have an action-packed show. Lots of highlights, lots of points to get to. You ready to do this?
Let's do it, man. A lot of mistakes to talk about as well. It's game one.
It is, it is. So Friday night in the boot, we start with a game on Thursday night, and sure enough, it was the Neville Tigers against the Eagles of Evangel. Pop Houston, back for his junior season. The Eagles love this guy after 48 yards last year, 38 touchdowns, an impressive start to the game. Ashton Dawson plowing in for the touchdown. Denny Doran's on crutches, but feeling good about a 14-0 lead as Houston, ranked the 8th best quarterback in 2027, makes it 14-0 Evangel. The guy who's not happy, Mike Collins. But the Tigers' offense eventually gets it in gear. Janarian Roberson, 1 yard for a touchdown. Then the middle of the second, feed him. He'll score again. Second touchdown of the night. Touchdown! We go to the third quarter. Not good for Neville. Their special teams, they missed 2 field goals. They had a punt blocked. But eventually Roberson scores again here. And the Tigers, down 26-20. They would recover a fumble and then give an opportunity to Jarvis Blackstone. And number 22, after getting that strip right there, is able to capitalize on it. They end up getting this score, and then in the end, their special teams finally came through, Coach.
They did.
Punt return.
Yeah, they really did, because the first 3 quarters, I'd probably give them an F for their special team. But it's early in the season, but then they block it with 11 seconds, and just a lot of explosive athletes on his team. You talked about Robinson, the running back, and Pop Houston. Everybody in the country would like to have him on his football team. He's got 2 more years to play, this year and next year, so we'll see where he ends up.
33-32 was the final score in this one, and again, if they get the field goal at the end, the Eagles are celebrating, but the Tigers are just really tough to beat, especially when they're on that home field.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Coach Collins obviously happy now that he gets the victory, but wasn't happy earlier. But it's game one. The improvements are going to come in game 2 and 3.
A lot of marquee matchups for week 1. Friday night in the blue included a Friday game here in Baton Rouge, Memorial Stadium, as the Catholic High Bears, some consider them the second best team behind Edna Karr going into this season, hosting a very great Destrehan Wildcat team. Check out this Jabari Mack, 4-star LSU recruit, with the interception of Baylor Graves, 100 yards to the house. It was 10-0. Destrehan in front, but the Bears respond. 3:44 left in the quarter. Justin Batiste makes it a 10-6 score. Here goes Batiste again in the second quarter. Another 3-yard touchdown. Catholic up 13-10. Destrehan would go back in front. A 5-yard run by built low to the ground Malachi Dabney, 16-10. Wildcats. Just 2 minutes left in the half, but look at Catholic. They come right back. It's Turner Goldsmith connecting with Bo Thomas, 23-yard score. The Bears are up 20-16. Third quarter, Batiste, his 3rd touchdown run, 23-16. Coach, they just kept feeding him.
Yeah, he's an outstanding athlete. You see Jackson Fields right there. He's going to play in the Power 4 level. Turner Goldsmith, it shows you my age, Steve. I coached against him in middle school, and now he's doing things in Catholic. He was really good in middle school.
So Destrehan had cut the lead to 26-23. Batiste, his 4th touchdown. Again, a 3-yarder made it 32-23. And then Taylor Goldsmith, the big hit, knocking that ball loose from Mack. Harrison Kidder puts out the Wildcats' chance at a comeback. Catholic comes away with the win over Destrehan. 32-23 was the final score in that one. This is the kind of game you like to see at the beginning of the year. And oh, by the way, Catholic next week goes up against St. Thomas More.
Well, I'll tell you, not shying away, Coach Fuller, not shying away from playing a really good team. And Coach Marcus Scott on the other side for Destrehan. I mean, that's a colossal matchup. That's a matchup you would see deep in the playoffs if they played each other in the playoffs, which I wish they would. But obviously, they can't. But so many athletes on that field. Jaden Miles, a running back for Catholics. As a 2027 guy, he's got every offer in the state, including LSU. But I expect both of these teams to make deep playoff runs, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get to see maybe both of them in the Superdome.
This guy was with us in the Dome the first year when I was sitting out my 1-year non-compete, and we're glad to have him back on the show here tonight. We're just getting started. Friday night in the boot. We'll take a break and come back with more action from around the boot.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
Steve Schneider, Troy LaBeouf, Friday night in the boot, and we get to some more interesting matchups, including a couple of champions from last year in the Superdome head-to-head.
Yeah, Vermilion Catholic and Catholic New Iberia will take us right to the highlights. Champions in these two teams, two outstanding coaches that you see in the second quarter. Alexander LeBeau steps back to pass is complete to Jacob Mineville to score the first touchdown of the game for the Panthers. The score is 7-0.
Of course, the Screaming Eagles excited to have a home game in this matchup, but they don't have John anymore.
They don't have Jonathan Dartez. He takes talents to Nichols, but they do have William Simon, and he hands off to Luke McLean. Runs around the right side. He's out of bounds. He picks up a big first down for the Eagles.
But in the end, the Panthers just too much. They go on to win this one by a final of 20-0 as the Eagles are shut out. But still good competition for them to be playing up and playing a quality opponent. Catholic New Iberia will face Central Catholic next week, while Vermilion Catholic will take on Breaux Bridge. Talk about a score fest tonight. How about the Jena Giants going on the road to take on the Purple Dragons from Mangum? Check out that look from the ground up. And from the beginning, first snap of the game, this one was off the hook. KJ Bell takes the screen pass, goes 80 yards for a touchdown, 18 seconds into the game. Mangum leads 7-0. The freshman deserves a little H2O and maybe a championship belt after getting that big play. The Dragons offense went back to work. Their quarterback, Colby Casey, no one to throw to. That's okay. He scrambles right in there. 28 yards for the touchdown, and the Mangum Purple Dragons up 14-0. Jena would get it going, though. Their playmaker, Zadrian Cooper, to the outside up the sideline. He will go 50 yards. They won't tackle him, but they do get him out of bounds. That's okay. But right behind him, Cedric Wilson finishes the drive with a 4-yard touchdown, 2-point play, 14-8. And here we go again with the Dragons. 6 seconds to go in the quarter. Reggie Roberson, 80-yard kickoff return, 21-8. Mangum ending the first quarter. The Giants come right back, though. They're going to go to a little play action. Busted coverage. Wilson's got it for 62 yards and his second touchdown. They get 2 points to start the second quarter. It's a 21-16 game, but the action doesn't stop there. Bell, ensuing kickoff, 60 yards, and then Jamarian Lawrence finishing the drive with a 24-yard touchdown, so it's 28-16, Mangum in front. Jay Rourke searching for answers, and here we go. Deuce McPherson rolls to his right, hitting Adrian Sharp in the end zone. 10-yard touchdown, 2-point play makes it 28-24. Mangum continues this shootout as Casey in the pocket unloads the dime to Rayon Bell. 24-yard touchdown for him. Ty Wilcher, 2-point play. It's 36-24. Mangum 25 seconds until halftime, but Cooper would score with 10 seconds to go. That makes it 36-32, and we're just at halftime as they head to the locker room, pretty much exhausted. Tell you what, though, the Giants would blow it out in the second half, scoring lots of points. Let's check out your final score as the Dragons put up a fight, but Jena was just too much in this one. 64-48. Are you kidding me?
Did you have the over in this one, Steve? I tell you, that's two small towns that follow their football, two outstanding football teams. That's a lot of points in the first game of the season.
Just like last year, we're going to see a lot of basketball scores in these football matchups. All right, talk about defending champs. We saw it with Catholic New Iberia, Vermilion Catholic. How about the Shaw and Edna Karr matchup? Same thing, Division I Select State champs. Edna Karr rolling out the welcoming mat for the Division II Select champion Shaw, who edged Edie White for the title. Perfect way to kick off this prep season. And speaking of perfect, the Karr defense. 0 first downs allowed in the first half.
Not surprised. Karr's probably got the best team in the state of Louisiana, in my opinion. Athletes at every position, Power 4 players.
Stop the option pitch. Then LSU commit Aiden Hall blows up the attempted punt. Cornell Williams right there to fall on it. Cougars in business. But the Shaw defense flies around. State title MVP John Johnson tried to make something happen with his feet, coughs it up. DeJuan Rivera with the punch out. Tal Turner the recovery, so Shaw dodges the bullet there. But then second quarter, Karr on the move again, and Hollywood living up to his name, spinning out of 2 tackles for the big first down. It sets up Trey Garrison, big hole up the gut. Cougars into the end zone for the first time in 25, 7-0 and counting. If you feel like this looks like that play, it is. Garrison again, the same result, 14-0 Cougars as they go into the break. In the third quarter, Jermon Macklin gets some run. 2nd and 15, gets all of that and then some. Bruising run for Karr on that one. Later, Johnson would cap off the drive. He's going to find the dime to Floyd Jones all by himself. Corner of the end zone. Cougars starting to pour it on now, 21-0. Can you feel it?
I can feel it. I'd say that offensive line, playmakers everywhere. They may have one of the best offensive lines in the state.
Elliott Love, earthquake of a tackle there. Too much for Karr in this one, though. Check out their defense again. In the fourth, denying the Eagles on 4th and short. Williams practically unblocked up the middle. Karr. Exclamation point, Jarrell McGee showing off the burst. On his way to the end zone, 28-0. A victory by the defending champs in this one. 35-0 was your final score. And hey, Hank Tierney's team, took a tough loss early last year, but it didn't deter them from getting back and winning the first state championship for the school since 1987.
They'll be just fine. On the other side for Edna Karr, Bryce Brown, I look at him as the Nick Saban of high school football. He will probably find some mistakes in this game. He won't be satisfied, and he motivates his guys every year because they win every single year. So you got to figure out that motivating factor to keep them warm.
Some folks wonder, is he friendly? No, he's just all work, all business, right?
He's the Nick Saban of high school football.
He is. All right, we're just getting started here. Friday night in the boot. More right after this.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
The start of school means the start of new sports seasons, which unfortunately can mean injuries. Too often, sports injuries are treated with opioids, leading to addiction among our youth. And drug addictions can cause overdoses and deaths. If you're injured, ask your doctor for medicines and therapies that don't use opioids. And if you're struggling with opioid addiction, we can offer treatment. Opioid addiction is a losing game. You can help. Learn more at realhelpvr.com. That's realhelpvr.com.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Welcome back, everybody, and looking ahead to week 2, we've got a great matchup for you. The ASH Trojans, who were just in the Superdome last year and had a very successful opening night, will host the Farmers of Union Parish. That's our game of the week, week 2, Thursday at 7 o'clock, live right here on the LHSA network. Our opening week, game of the week, we went down to Laplace. Newman, with their new coach Aaron Weiss, in the game early, but this play kind of broke it open. Check out the punt return for Krisden McLean. Fielded it inside his own 5, faded toward his goal line, and then turned it up and went 96 yards to give the Comets the first points of the season and of the game. 6-0. They did have the no-good PAT afterwards. Not a particularly great 3 quarters of special teams for the Comets. Not what we're used to seeing, but that play certainly huge. Newman had Jake Randall, the running back, playing quarterback. Kind of looked like Taysom Hill. He got that completion, and then Jack Falgoose with the 27-yard field goal to get the Greenies on the board. Check out this one. How about Randall and the effort?
Over the top.
Yes, he was looking to break John John's rushing record there for a while, but eventually St. Charles gets it going. Landry LeBlanc connecting with Skylar Edwards, who had a big game on the screen pass to the 10. Then LeBlanc finds his cousin Walker LeBlanc open in the end zone for the touchdown, extending that lead to 12-3. The Comets would then punch it in again in the third quarter. Edwards running hard, taking the handoff, scores from 8 yards out. St. Charles now up 19-3. Tyler Melito would extend the lead with the field goal, 22-3 on a 29-yarder. Later, LeBlanc, great fake. Faked out everyone, gets into the end zone. 29-3. Wayne Stein's team needed to grow up after playing U-High in that scrimmage, and certainly did on this night.
Wayne Stein, death, taxes, and Wayne Stein being intense in a football game. He's an outstanding coach. But Newman will come back. They'll play good football. Let's go to the next one. A Thursday night matchup, Teurlings Catholic and Opelousas. This one got going. The Rebels have dominated the series, never losing to the Tigers. And early on, it looked like they were going to keep it going. First quarter, Alex Munoz, stunting like his daddy, hooked up with A.J. Price, who bully balls his way in the end zone for a 33-yard score. The Rebs are up 7-0.
Tigers were just champions 2 years ago, but
Jimmy Zachary, head coach. But
Yep.
Opelousas, they will respond. Jalen Owens slings it in the end zone to receive for a 12-yard score. PAT's no good. Tigers trail at 7-6. Here come the Teurlings Catholic Rebels again. Munoz on the play fake, letting it rip. 43-yard gain and a first down to Price. That sets up Case and Evans, 10-yard rushing touchdown. Rebels up 14-6, and they go on to win this one. They, in blowout fashion, 48-12. Great start for Teurlings Catholic and Opelousas. Good football team. They got to just get a tough opponent in game 1.
get a chance to regroup there, as you see, against Lake Charles College Prep. All right. The U-High Cubs, impressive in their scrimmage, impressive in their jamboree against Dunham, and season opener taking on Woodlawn. Of course, the Cubs kind of a revenge tour. They forfeited all those games last year, trying to reverse that 9-0, 0-9 start, and off to a great start here. Lawson Dixon, the screen pass from Ethan McGlenn, makes almost half the Panthers miss him as he goes in for the touchdown, and an early two-point play tacked on, put U-High in front 8-0. Andy Martin's team certainly looking strong early in the season. The Panthers couldn't get anything going, so it's the Cubs again. Corbin Odell, the carry, and sneaks across the goal line to make it 15-0. Cubs in front as they are rolling. The Panthers would finally get something going against Martin's defense, and that would be Ahmad Price deep to Trenton Bennett. He is dragged out at the 1-yard line, but it only delays the inevitable because Caden Randall would line up in the Wildcat, and he would take the direct snap and get into the end zone for the Panthers to make it a 15-8 score. But the Panthers would struggle most of the night in many areas, including snaps. Check this one out in the second half. Over Price's head, Lane Mixon. The scoop and scores. He takes it to the house. U-High rolls in this one by the final of 49-8. I don't see a lot of teams beating the Cubs, but a huge game next up. They'll be in the Superdome, a Cox game of the week, a doubleheader. Karr will be playing the second game, but that'll be a good challenge, playing against the Rummel Raiders.
Raiders probably not in a good mood after this week one, but I can tell you, you're going to see a lot of early in the season, Steve, with quarterback center exchange. You're going to see a lot of that fumbles, bad snaps. Until they can get that timing down, you'll see it happen.
And so far, we've seen a lot of penalties in these first games.
Yeah, kids are getting tired early, and they're making mental mistakes.
Yeah. All right, much more to come. Stay right there. Friday night in the boot.
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit.
Take this back.
100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard. Part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
At Breck Golf Courses, we focus on the highest level of play. That means award-winning courses, state-of-the-art practice facilities, unique shot-making opportunities, and tournament-level playing experiences. With 2 championship courses located in the parish, Beaver Creek and Santa Maria courses make the perfect setting to test your golf skills. Find your next hole-in-one with Breck Golf.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Steve Schneider, Troy LaBeouf, and the pride of Cenla this year, it's been the Ash Trojans and those Bunkie Panthers. Let's take you to check in on Bunkie, as their game with the St. Mary's Tigers was the week 1 matchup up in that neck of the woods. And the Panthers, I'll tell you what, they got the motor revving early in this one. Brady Wright handing it off to Zion Lee. He is off to the races. Opening play of the season goes for 45 yards. The Tigers know they might be in trouble. Then Wright would drop back a long pass connection. Ron Patterson stumbles in for a touchdown. First of the season, Bunkie up by 7-0. Later, the Panthers back on offense. Wright shows off his arm. Patterson once again. And he will break some tackles and move on into the end zone, untouched the rest of the way. Could be these two as the new Bunkie dynamic duo, 14-0. The Bunkie students got more to cheer about, and here it comes. Still first quarter. Wright hands off to Lee. 43 yards, and this time it's a 43-yard touchdown. Panthers up 20-0. They did miss the extra point. Fast forward to the end of the second quarter, St. Mary's inching their way toward the end zone to some Panthers penalties. But the final play of the first half, the Tigers, Ashton Johnson in the pocket looking for a receiver, is met by that Bunkie defense. They go into the locker room with Bunkie up 29-0. They would go on to win this one by a 42-0 final. So the Bunkie Panthers, who head to St. Louis down in Lake Charles next week, off to a great start. St. Mary's will have to try to regroup against Red River.
We'll take a look at Ouachita and Captain Shreve. Ouachita plays in arguably the toughest district with Ruston, Neville, Alexandria, and Pineville. Over on Millhaven, big things expect out of this talented Washita squad. Lions out for a little revenge after losing the season over to Captain Shreve last year. Lions roar right out of the locker room. Monroe Connor, he got 5 touchdowns today. Here's his first one.
5 touchdowns.
First one to Cameron Books, a 53-yard. They put their best player at quarterback, and he is. Before Benji Lewis can break a sweat, the Lions are on the board. But the Gators do chomp right back. Jackson Gass shows off his own long bomb. Will lead to a short TD run coming right at you. There's a short TD run, extra point. PAT coming. There's our touchdown right there. Extra point is going to be coming at you. It's going to be blocked. But Connor had a huge first half. He is so fast, you occasionally just lose him. 30-yard touchdown run for Monroe Connor. As I said, he had 5 of those today.
This is the heavy package right here, right?
Yeah, look at that right tackle and that right guard. I run behind those guys all day long. Nice little pop pass right there to a huge tight end, if you will. Washita up 13-12. Into the first half, Montreal taking over. Again, great scramble. Like we talked about, the big man package, no bigger than big Dylan Berryman, the Texas verbal commitment. Here comes Monroe Connor again, right into your living room. He is so talented with the football. Put Washita up 21-12 at the half. There's big Dylan Berryman. We just talked about the Texas verbal commitment. No one bigger than him, 6'4", 340. It's hard to miss. UT commit with good feet and good hands. Here comes a big man. Look at him, knocking the quarterback down. Maybe LSU Tigers will have to go after that guy. But again, way too much offense for the Lions tonight against Captain Shreve, avenging that loss, pick up the ball off the ground. Usually, again, bad snap, but you see your final score, 37-19. Washita will have Walsman next week. Captain Shreve will try to rebound against Huntington. Next up, Thursday night game, Westgate traveling to Louisiana College Prep. Just minutes remaining in the first half. Dylan Vital fires one downfield. It's Ariel Fleming, who's all over it, comes up with the pick 6 to put Westgate up 14-12. Tigers rolling to the third quarter, 4th down for Westgate. Noah Antoine is swallowed up by Kellen Ford. Big stop for the Trailblazers right there. Later in the quarter, Westgate threatened. The direct snap goes to Trandon Benjamin. He plows his way in for 6. Westgate leads it 22-12. The Tigers, you'll see it right here. Tigers will finish this one off. They'll win the ball game. Westgate will win it 28-20. Westgate will have a 0-1 Southside team, and Lake Charles will have a big test with Barr next week.
Absolutely. Still to come, we got to check in on West Monroe, we got to check in on Ash, and a barn burner between the Notre Dame Pios and Southside, who opened their new stadium tonight, hoping to celebrate that. We'll be right back with more of Friday Night in the Boot.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
Welcome back to Friday Night in the Boot. Steve Schneider and Troy LaBeouf. And let's check out the new-look West Monroe Rebels. They got a lot of attention in the Jamboree spring game, throwing that football around the yard. Of course, they have a new head coach. The Michael Dizer's era underway. West Monroe kicking off with a rematch of their game with Huntington. And, of course, a familiar face, Huntington, former Louisiana star John Simon taking over. Game one, and Brady Guillot hits his favorite target early, Tulane commit Trez Davis. That's a 45-yard touchdown, so there they go. Right to the air, 3-touchdown performance in the Bayou Jam, picking right up where he left off, 7-0 West Monroe. They respond, though. The Raiders, Adrian Johnson, 85-yard touchdown. They missed the point after, so West Monroe still led. 2 minutes into the game, it's 7-6. Dizer not exactly happy. 3rd and long, Rebels on the next drive. There's that guy again, Davis. Give him 2 touchdowns. This one from 57 yards out, 14-6. West Monroe a little excited about their Rebels. Kedrian McNeil ripping off some big runs. Finishing that one, punches it in for the touchdown. Rebels go up 21-6 at the end of the first quarter. The Raiders would then drive down to the West Monroe 14, but they ended up with a fumble and another 33-yard reception. So West Monroe celebrates a victory in their season opener. If we can pop up that final score and tell you they won over Huntington 41-18. Huntington will take on Captain Shreve next week, while the West Monroe Rebels will take on Pulaski Academy.
Alexandria Senior High and Coach Thomas Bachman, West Feliciana, Terry Minor, former offensive coordinator at Catholic. Coach Bachman and the Trojans have won 10 straight at the Butch. That trend looked safe early on, already 7-0 when Carson Sutter hooks up with Alex Fontenot, a 30-yard score. Ash leads by 2 scores in just over 2 minutes. Ensuing drive, ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to Kason Williams, coming in your screen right there. Sophomore on the swing pass, makes a couple Saints miss. One more juke for a good measure. That's one way to get your first career touchdown. 55 yards. That puts the Trojans up by 3 scores. They scored a bunch of points tonight. He's not the only new face in the Ash backfield. Meet Noble Williams. He runs straight through the West Feliciana defense for another touchdown. 31-0, and we're still in the first quarter. There's the student section right there. A few drives later, Ash on the move again. Sellers goes back to the shoulder. Back shoulder throw to Fontenot again. 1 of 4 first half passing touchdowns from Sellers. Ash, runner-up from last season. They roll in this one, Steve. You see your final score. They were angry. 54-7. They do it at the Butch again.
Yeah, some people were scratching their head when they went over to Acadiana and didn't blow the doors off. But certainly, West Monroe's not a bad team. Obviously playing up in class on the road, a tall order, but
this will make them better.
The Trojans, absolutely a landslide there in that one. All right. Let's go to Southside and Notre Dame. The Pios of Louis Cook trying to pay. Spoiler is the Sharks were opening their brand new, beautiful stadium. First home game they've ever played because they've always been on the road in the past. And check out quarterback Drew Lejeune. Right up the gut, close to the goal line. A couple plays later, they would do the tush-push for the touchdown, and the Pios out to an early 7-0 lead.
I was watching the Eagles last night.
Southside unable to do anything on their first drive, so the Pios would get the football back, and William Laverne will make Coach Cook proud, the Hall of Famer. Had a book written about him, and not a surprise the way his team performs. This one all the way to the end zone. Sharks fans stunned as their team is down to the Pios 14-0. They'd like at least a touchdown to celebrate their new stadium, get the crowd back in it. Ensuing kickoff would go to Cameron Allen. What do you think? You going to answer their requests?
We'll take a look right here.
Absolutely. Giving his team and his crowd some life as he takes it back. However, Notre Dame would survive going on the road and getting a win at Southside, playing up 35-28, the Pios with the win. Southside, a tough week 2 assignment as they will take on Westgate, and that one will be on the road.
Coach Cook, 51st season overall, coaching 28 seasons at Notre Dame. They got them rolling again. They had a little bit of a downswing, but they're coming back, beating a team like Southside.
He's a man who knows how to teach his guys the game and still remains humble despite all his success. All right, take another time out here on Friday Night in the Boot. Back with you after this.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
No one ever thinks they'll be in this position. Buying medication online could put you here, or here, or here. Counterfeit pills and other illicit substances are being laced with fentanyl, and fentanyl kills. It's 50 times stronger than heroin. Medical professionals can't even tell the difference between a real pill and one that is fake. At least not until they do your autopsy. Don't take anything online that doesn't come from your doctor. Buying online can leave you flatlined.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Welcome back to Friday Night in the Boot. I've never seen so many good competitive teams concentrated in one area than we're seeing right now over in Acadiana. And of course, that's a large area, a lot of rural teams, but lots of interesting stories to be told this year in that area.
Absolutely. I mean, football is really good down there, and a lot of good coaches, a lot of good athletes. And we're going to see a good Thursday night game right here. Opelousas Catholic, the Vikings traveling to Iota, the Bulldogs. Again, two small towns getting after it. It's on a Thursday night. First quarter, OCS on the drive. Lane Dugas, a quarterback pass to Roderick Tezano. Where is he committed to? USC. It's a touchdown. The Vikings are up 7-0. Dugas now looking to pass again. This time the ball is intercepted by Hudson Daigle. Brings it 15 yards for the Bulldogs. First down to set them up near the end zone. There you see the cheerleaders, crowd. You see all the people going out near the end zone. Dace Fouchelet on the quarterback keep brings it all the way in for the touchdown, tying the score at 7 apiece. Here's the ensuing kickoff. Caught deep by the Bulldogs, brought up nicely up the field. Good return, good blocking right there. Up the sideline. Let's see if they can finally get him out of bounds. They do knock him out of bounds here. Opelousas Catholic and Iota. You see your final score. Opelousas Catholic able to add another touchdown. They win it 14-7.
Iota taking on Kinder next week for a week 2 matchup to try to bounce back. All right, how about Jared Baugh and the Ruston Bearcats as they went down to Acadiana to take on the Wrecking Rams? And welcome to Dalen Powell's show. The Bearcats were up 7-0 early, and then Powell will take a handoff from Sam Hartwell, and the Bears O-line will clear a path for him. Credit Jared Roser and Louisiana versus all y'all for giving us some footage to fill in the blanks here as Ruston went up to a 14-0 lead. It got ugly early. Bearcats up 21-7. Powell takes this one, a kickoff, after Acadiana had just scored, all the way to the house. This is just a sophomore, and yet he finished the night with 4 touchdowns. I love the sideline. Oh my gosh, look at this. A great touchdown there, and then we can't forget about their defense. Rakeen Potts wrecking the Rams offense right there as he gets the big hit in the backfield. And then in the secondary, Jaden Andy. You recognize that last name? The Anding name?
I think he's got a brother at LSU.
Maybe so. Comes up with a pick right there, putting an emphasis on this one, folks. 49-7. Whew. Bearcats sending a message to everyone. We might be back in the Dome this year. Certainly looks like it for that kind of debut. They'll take on a team out of state in Cabot, while Zachary will lie in wait for Acadiana in week 2. All right. In the capital city, we had a Liberty Magnet Southern Lab matchup playing over at Olympia Stadium as the Patriots were the home team. The Kittens found themselves in trouble early as in the first quarter, Bryce Preston will connect with Connor Nairn, who strolls in for the touchdown. Liberty gets on the board first and leads it 6-0. The Patriots defense would also set the tone in this one. Kittens had trouble in the jamboree against their opponent, A-Meat, and right there, Kingston Duon with the big hit and the sack. Liberty then back on offense. Zayden Foster with the rock will break free and into the end zone for the touchdown. Liberty goes out to the 13-0 lead. Of course, this is a 5A, 1A matchup, so the Kittens a little outmanned in that regard, but Logan Dauphine on the carry, tripped up, but stays on his feet. Big gain into Patriot territory, and then up top, Dexter Ricard. Nice catch by Jaden Hatch. That would lead to this. Dauphine in for the touchdown. However, just too much Liberty in this one as they would roll against the Kittens. 41-28 was your final score, and of course, that's Coach Zachary, who came over and after winning a championship at Opelousas, thinks he can build the Patriots into something special. We'll see them next week against White Castle. Southern Lab will take on Carroll in their next ball game. All right, we're going to take a timeout here on Friday Night in the Boot. Back with more right after this.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
Oh no, they missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
And welcome back in to Friday Night in the Boot. Steve Schneider. And I'll tell you what, Coach, we're going to take a look at some of these scores and get some surprises, but also some, not really as surprising that Zachary rebounded the way they did. They're dedicating this season to a worthy cause, and they took care of Plaquemine 52-28. I heard Guy Mastretta say he thinks that Santa Maw is the best team in that Livingston Parish and Ascension Parish district, and certainly with a veteran quarterback, they proved it 49-6. Franklinton over A-Meat. Franklinton, of course, is for real with the appearance in the Superdome last year. St. James rolls all over East St. John, speaking of teams that have been in the Superdome. Look at Airline, 56 more points. And surprised by Brother Martin over East Ascension, 29-22.
East Ascension had the lead most of that game. Brother Martin stormed back, and East Ascension had the football inside the 10-yard line with under a minute to go, and they fumbled the football away at the 8-yard line. East Ascension is my dark horse team for this year. They played a very good Brother Martin team. That first score, we looked at Zachary, Coach Brew, and his staff. They return a really good football team. Obviously, championship or bust for those guys. I mean, that's the way they look at it. I look for them to have a really, really good season. St. James, Jaquez Villanueva. He is a playmaker when he gets the football in his hands. And they have a sophomore quarterback that is fantastic. You got a chance to see him last year in the Superdome.
That's right. St. James and Santa Ma, strong at quarterback. And
he got a sophomore at St. James playing quarterback. He's going to be a Power 4 recruit. And Cooper Babin. Folks, if you're not recruiting Cooper Babin, listen to me. You need to recruit him. Santa Ma, like you said, a lot of people feel like Santa Ma is going to be one of the better teams in the district. I think that district's going to be pretty balanced. With EA, Santa Ma was. I had a chance to look at Dutchtown tonight, and watch out for Brett Beard and Denham Springs. Those guys, they have a strength program, and they got a lot of starters back. They got some athletic guys that can play on the outside. Take a look at some more scores, Steve.
You said Madison Prep's pretty good too. They beat Dutchtown 48-41. Look at Central, 20-13 over De La Salle. Nice showing for them. Hahnville routing Booker T. Washington. St. Paul's 48-13 over Live Oak. And Walker edging Ponchatoula. That was a tight one, 27-26. Leesville goes down to Sam Houston, 44-35. The Wampus Cats take a loss in their season opener.
Yeah, Central, Coach Semino, all they do is win. And you see right there, that's a quality win over De La Salle, the defending state champs. I don't know if a lot of people would have thought that, but I thought when they made the hire, he's been a winner everywhere he's been, Coach Semino. And then I had a chance to cover Madison Prep and Dutchtown tonight. Madison Prep had a big lead in that game. Dutchtown didn't quit. Both coaches told me after the game when I interviewed them that we made a lot of mistakes. They have a lot of respect for each other. But
Madison Prep has a lot of beef in the offensive line, right? Offensive and defensive line.
They
right?
average about 290, around 290 right there. They got a 6'7", 315 guy up front at quarterback, was really good with his arm and his legs tonight. He had 4 touchdowns combined. But that defense, it's hard to run right at them. Those big guys, you got to move them side to side. You got to try to get on the outside. And Dutchtown's still rotating quarterbacks a little bit with Fletcher Owens and Walker Weiss. So both of them have strengths that can help Guy Mastretta. But Guy was pleased with his team. A lot of inexperience on that Dutchtown team. They graduated a ton of guys that started.
Right. And they were so close to getting to the Dome. All right, how about Slidell upsetting Lutcher? I guess that's an upset. Tigers with a win. Hannon edging North Lake Christian, a kind of a neighborhood battle there. Bruley, I saw them in the Jamboree. Good football team. I think Fort Allen is, these days going to struggle to compete with a team that big. Church Point, we've got them in a game of the week later this year. They beat North Vermilion 27-14. St. Michael getting ready to open their new stadium, but this one was on the road over at Episcopal 35-21. And look at Sterlington. They had, I think they encouraged the students to dress like they were going to the beach for this game. 47-31.
Yeah, not a lot of surprise here. Lutcher, obviously, we thought maybe could win that game, but they're going to be just fine. Bruley, Patrick Gales is a player to watch for them.
All right, that's a look at some scores. Back to highlights when we come back here on Friday Night in the Boot.
If you want to break the rock, you need to make yourself indestructible. If you want to play between the hedges, you need to work out there, up there, down there, everywhere. If you want to reach the win bar, you need to lose sleep, lose count. You need to play every game like you got nothing to lose.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Welcome back to Friday Night in the Boot. And we've got some teams that were in the Superdome, or 2 years ago, Holy Cross was like one of the top seeds in the entire state, taking on E.D. White.
Yeah, the E.D. White Cardinals at home to start the season, off against Holy Cross. And you see the Cardinals coming out. They dress out about 100 guys. Holy Cross will get it going early. They hand it off to Kerryon Smith. He spins out of a tackle, finds a lane, and he is Gone, gone. Nobody catches him.
Everybody's jumping up and down.
Nobody catches him. 90-yard touchdown. Holy Cross leads it 7-0. They would keep it rolling. Second quarter now, Jacoby Farrier moves to his right, throws a dart to Jaden Chambers for a touchdown. Holy Cross jumping out on this one, 14-0. But here come the Cardinals. They answer back in the second half. Carter Douglas gets a short touchdown to make it 14-7. Then later, E.D. White was down 21-7. Grant Barbera, he's got a Nichols offer. He's a good. They throw the football. They shoot it on just run. He throws a fade to Chase Knockham for a touchdown. Cardinals trailing 21-14. Cardinals next drive. Barbera drops back, goes deep to Reese LaFont.
Nice.
He's got him in the basket for a touchdown to make it 21-20. Next play, they decide to go for two. It's stuffed in the back. Holy Cross gets the stop. Cardinals still trail by one. Holy Cross trying to start a drive. They hand it off for a short gain. The Cardinals get a strip. They got the turnovers. Charles Dietrich, their big middle linebacker.
Goodness.
He's got a Nichols offer as well. Takes it. He runs it in for a touchdown. Cardinals go up 26-21. Next drive for Holy Cross. They go deep to Jaden Chambers. Wow. He catches it before going out the 1 yard line. Next play, Farrier will call his own number for a touchdown. Take a 1 point lead, and that would do it. Holy Cross.
What a ball game.
They win it. You see you score 27-26. Tigers take on De La Salle. And E.D. White doesn't get any easier to play Jesuit.
They start off the season with Holy Cross.
I'm going to have to ask Coach Lassang, what was time when he made this schedule?
All right. Let's talk about Oak Grove and Calvary. Of course, the Tigers didn't make it to the Dome last year, but a great program. And Calvary Baptist won 2 years ago, always in the hunt in pretty much every sport they compete in. And true traditional state powers hooking up. Midway through the first quarter, Calvary starts the show. Perfect pass from Hudson Price into the hands of Braylon Huglin. He makes the first Cavalier touchdown of the season right there. Oak Grove not happy about giving that one up, but they catch a break as the Cavs move on offense. But the Tigers with the big hit, forcing the fumble, and create some momentum as their fans get fired up. Offense, though, Calvary swarms them in the backfield. Bryson Reeves with a takedown for the sack. Second quarter, Calvary on the 1 yard line, tasting the end zone, and then powered in. Second half wasn't much better for Oak Grove as Calvary winds up taking home a big opening statement win, 30-7 Cavaliers over the Tigers in that one. And look who's next. They'll be playing Neville in week 2. Of course, that's a game we did last year here on the network when it got moved to a Friday night because Cox's game was moved to a Saturday.
Oak Grove has Crossit. Erath and Lorryville. These two teams know each other very well. Two outstanding football teams. Erath beat Lorryville for the first time in 4 meetings last year. First quarter, quarterback Jack Lander hands off to Jahil Charles. He takes up the middle for a first down for the Bobcats. Again, Landry now with the handoff to Aiden Burke. Zigzags through the middle for another Bobcat first down. Landry, there you see Coach LeBlanc. Landry looking for an opening to a pass and sees Carter Champagne.
Oh, my goodness.
Wide open.
Coverage right there.
Busted coverage. It was right for a complete pass. He takes it there from the score. First touchdown of the game. Erath leads it 7-0. There you see Landry again. Landry throwing the screen, but it's picked off right there by Erath. So Erath trying to stay in this one, but the final score, Erath ends up winning that ball game. I want to mention earlier, Vermilion Catholic lost their first regular season game in about 4 years, I believe.
Wow. Here's some other week 1 scores. Country Day, 28-21 winners. Westlake over Rose Pine, 34-0. DeQuincy handles Hamilton Christian, 39-14. Look at Homer and Houghton, 36-34. Look at Kinder and Welsh, 36-32. And Manning, pretty impressive win over Logansport, 35-19 was the final score in that one. What jumps out at you on that set of scores?
Hamilton didn't win the game, but a player that nobody knows about, Jason Vidal.
Oh, yeah.
For Hamilton
Saw
Christian.
him in basketball and football as well.
He's the real deal. Haynes Academy and Country Day. Haynes' coach went over to Country Day, so he was facing his former school, where it was probably emotional to see some of those players across the way. That's a good win for Country Day to open the season. And Manning, Jess Curtis's old team, they got a nice victory over Logansport. Logansport always has a solid team.
All right, Coach, some final thoughts. First week of the season, what jumps out at you?
Typically, the defenses are ahead of the offenses early in the season, but I'd say we saw a lot of big scores. I think you can look at it as turnovers, a lot of turnovers that set up short fields, quarterback exchange with the center. Everybody's in the shotgun these days. When you get that snap over the quarterback, you lose 10 yards. You saw a lot of that as well. And it was humid, a very humid Thursday and Friday night. So you saw a lot of
think
cramps.
the teams who really do the off-season training in the weight room and in the conditioning, they're the ones that tend to run up some of those big scores. They just outwork people.
Yeah, I mean, their second team guys are good too. And you're not going to let them go in there and just tell them to lay down. They want to score.
No. All right, well, that's going to be the end of our week 1, Friday night in the boot. Don't forget, next Thursday night, here on the live channel, we'll be up at Alexandria, Union Parish, taking on the Trojans.
For over 100 years.
For Troy LaBeouf and our crew, I'm Steve Schneider. So long, everybody.
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
Protect what matters most to you and find out the many ways you can benefit. 100% free tuition and fees to all state colleges. Job training in over 150 different career fields, healthcare, pay, and much more. The Louisiana Army National Guard, part-time service with lifelong benefits. Find out more by visiting www.lang-recruiting.com.
So it's going to come down to this. Can they do it?
They missed it! Wait a minute! There's a flag on the play!
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.